Alright, so today I'd like to talk a little bit about dealing with the diagnosis of bipolar. When the therapist at the program that I'm in told me that I was bipolar, it was almost like I didn't hear what he said. I was kind of in shock. I didn't really know what to say or what to think, and I felt confused. I had a lot of questions, but at the same time I was sort of relieved, because for once there was a name to my behavior and my feelings and the things that have gone on throughout my life, the ups, the downs, not knowing whether I'm coming or going. And it was very kind of therapeutic in that way, because for me it's the start of my recovery. I have a starting point now. So I have a name, there are symptoms, there are things that I can do because I'm in a therapy program now. It's a very intense one. I do have a regular counselor and a psychiatrist, but I had gotten to a point where things were just so out of control that I needed more intense help and therapy. But I think it's helped, because being in that program, you learn a lot of coping skills. You learn how to deal with anger and distractibility, mindfulness, breathing. You learn how to do a lot of these coping skills, and we practice these coping skills in the groups that we have, and we're also talking, and the people that are in the groups actually have a lot of similarities. Most of the people that are in the group that I'm in do have some form of bipolar, so it makes it easier in some ways to be around people who know what you're going through. For a long time, the way I was feeling, people didn't understand. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't understand it. It was too much for them. And if it was too much for them, imagine how it was for me, because I'm living with it. But and I've just been diagnosed very recently, this week actually, so I'm still getting used to it. It's still starting to sink in. Actually today, while I was in my group, I was actually experiencing a hypomanic episode. I'm not sure what brought that on necessarily. I have been, for the past 5 nights, I've been sleeping about 4 hours a night, not getting a lot of sleep, being very alert the next day, still able to function and go to group. And yesterday, the psychiatrist at the group gave me Ambien to help me sleep, and I slept, and I felt so good this morning, so refreshed. Now, I don't think that had necessarily anything to, do with it. It could have just been where I was, but I woke up this morning, I was in a good mood, I was singing, I was dancing, I was just acting in a very goofy, silly, euphoric kind of way, and I was being told, I was up here, and I was told to kind of come down here, and I could actually feel my brain. It was like it was clicking, and just like the neurotransmitters were just firing, and I couldn't help myself. I started getting a headache, my thoughts started racing, and to combat that, I started singing, and I was kind of dancing around and being goofy, and I ended up talking to the therapist, and he actually wants me to increase my intake of the lithium. Instead of 1 tablet at night, take 2 tablets at night, and still continue the 1 tablet in the morning, to see if that can help stabilize my mood throughout the day. So I think just maybe the lack of sleep for so many nights, and then suddenly getting sleep, being so rested, just a combination. My meds have been changing, just a combination of everything. It's just trying to stabilize my moods. But anyway, I it's nice being in a place where there's other people who understand what you're going through. It makes it easier to kind of sit back, think about it, accept it, and understand that this is not a limitation. It's not a limitation. It's just a part of who I am. And learning how to manage my emotions, my anxiety, my depression, my mania, it's all part of it, and I can't think of it as a bad thing. If I think of it as a bad thing, it will be a bad thing. So for me, this is a learning experience. It's a journey. Life is a journey, and this is just part of the journey. So I just want to thank you for listening to me, and I'll be back again with something else. I'm not really sure what, but thank you for listening.